Hello everyone, welcome back to our second devlog here at OutlawRP. My name is Arrow. I am one of two owners of the server, and we have a lot to talk about this time, so let's just go ahead and jump right in. First and foremost, we've done a lot of changes and additions to the server. We've added a lot of scripts, we've done a lot of bug fixes. We've also worked on just kind of some minor tweaks and quality of life improvements. Obviously, I won't be able to go through all of them with you guys, but I really wanted to just kind of showcase the main ones that, Cade and I had talked about beforehand, just to kind of give you guys somewhat of an idea of the things that we've updated and what we've kind of worked on in the past month or two, I'd say. First and foremost, we've added some more RP tools, such as the under the influence scripts. You can actually manually select using certain drugs or alcohol, and also discontinue those effects. It makes it a little bit easier and more convenient than digging through emotes. So if you're trying to do like drunk driving or trying to do a certain scene, that's great. We've also added a fire hose script. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to get this on a video, but essentially you can go up to any fire truck and or fire hydrant and actually connect the hose. Makes it look a little bit more realistic and more natural. So that should obviously help with fire and their scenes, making it a little bit more realistic and more entertaining for them. One of the biggest additions that Cade and I have really been hoping to do, and obviously it took some time, and unfortunately these scripts can get kind of expensive, but we've added a slew of mini games. We've added basketball, tennis, bowling, arm wrestling, derbies, darts, arcades, and we're even planning on doing more in the future. Those are incredibly fun. They're very intuitive. They're almost kind of remind me of like GTA Online. I think that's probably where those scripts came from, but you can play them with other people on the server, and I mean I had a tremendous amount of fun playing, and I still play it when I hop onto the server. You guys should definitely try those out. Next, we have a new taser script that Cade actually found. It's essentially about the same as the last one that we had. It adds a little bit more intuitive things to it. So for example, now there's a laser to help you aim, and then there's also a flashlight that turns on, makes it a little bit more natural to aim. And then you also can reload the same cartridges. You're not stuck having to do like a slash command in order to use those cartridges. It makes it a little bit more natural when you're dealing with suspects on the law enforcement side. One of the biggest changes or updates that we've done, which is huge for us as a server, we've been dealing with this forever, and obviously the people that have been playing here for a minute will also understand. We have fixed the bug that prevents you from playing on very high textures, so you are now able to join the server and use all of your textures like you originally wanted to. And unfortunately, there were some resources on the server that, or some vehicles specifically, that were causing that somehow, but that is now fixed. You guys can obviously join using those. Next, we have a called DP Scenes. It's a script that Cade found as well. It allows us to make more RP scenes and kind of be a little bit more descriptive on the scenes that we make. Kind of just adds another layer of just adding some realism to it. Definitely encourage you guys to try that out and kind of learn how to do that. And if you're not familiar with how to do that, there's a lot of the commands and just ways on how to use these scripts and the change logs on the Discord. Some of the major ones that we've also added that are really helpful for the law enforcement side is we've also added on to Sonoran CAD. We've already had Sonoran CAD, obviously, but we've added body cams and live maps. So for anyone who's doing dispatch, they can now go in and see where officers are located. Obviously use that to kind of dispatch officers so that we can kind of better spread the officers around the map. And then there's also active body cameras, so your body cam is actually actively being ran, and the department leaders and the actual dispatchers can actually tune in and watch that, which is pretty cool. We added construction vehicles back to our Outlaw Elite program, so if you're somebody who has shown and proven that you can do good RP and would like to do scenes utilizing that equipment, that is now back in and readily available to use. Something else that we've added just to kind of help with some RP scenes that are a little bit more unique and require something like this, we've added some new levels to the proximity chat. You can now use megaphone in theater, which amplifies your voice a little bit louder. So for traffic stops or scenes where somebody might be barricaded in a building or something where that might be required, that is now obviously a useful tool. Primarily going to be on the Leo side again. We're trying to really kind of help them out with their RP, but obviously there's plenty of scenes that can benefit as well. Kate and I went through, we kind of we're still kind of working on this. This is going to be a work in progress, but we've gone through and removed a whole lot of cars, MLOs, and Weavers, even going through a lot of the EUP to kind of optimize that. We're trying to kind of go through the server and just really make sure that we're not making you guys load resources that are not used or not necessary. And we're also going through and just making sure that MLOs that are currently breaking textures for you, so for example, the city has been broken for a large majority of the year, and we've gone through and removed a lot of those MLOs that were causing those texture loss issues, and we're trying to just kind of get the server back to being a little bit easier to load into, and also just make it a little bit more convenient, get you guys higher frames, things things like that. Like I said before, Weaver is working on EUP. He's doing some optimization. He's also adding and removing some EUP that we've been wanting for a while. So that should be coming in the near future. So kind of keep an eye out for that. If you've been here for a while, this is not necessarily new to you, but we haven't really done a devlog since we've added this, but we've added a new jailing system. This is probably one of my favorite scripts we've ever added to the server. So if law enforcement were to jail a suspect for 500 seconds, for example, and the individual chose to leave the server, the moment they log back in, they're going to have to continue their time. The server logs that information and prevents them from trying to evade that time. So it kind of adds a little bit more seriousness to being caught and being reprimanded for those crimes, and that obviously relinquishes staff from having to handle those situations. It allows us to play and interact with you guys. Next, we have a pretty big one. We added the Roxwood map to the server, so that's actually up north above Polito. It's a whole island connected to a bridge. Currently, there's no interiors. We're obviously waiting for the developers to release that, but that is a very cool map. We try a lot to put our AUP up there so people get to experience that. It kind of makes it a little bit more of a refreshing experience, especially for those of you that have been playing 5M for a long time, especially here at Outlaw. We wanted to kind of just use that as maybe a way to kind of get people something new, something a little bit more refreshing. We are currently in the process of still going through a lot of MLOs and removing and adding them. So obviously, if you guys have any that you specifically want, for like gangs or for law enforcement or fire, if you guys are wanting certain stations, you guys can let us know. It's not always guaranteed that you're going to get it, because unfortunately some are not compatible with each other, or some of them are just unfortunately just not going to work with current MLOs and department buildings that we have. But we really are trying to go through and just make sure that we can kind of make you guys happy, but at the same time we want to make sure that the server's operating properly. Obviously we haven't been very good about doing these devlogs. I intend to start doing them more frequently, and I'll kind of work with Cade to make sure that as we start updating and changing things, you guys have access to that information. And I think this is a lot easier to get you guys that information and show you what's going on here in the community. Last thing I've got for you guys is obviously we for a long time we've been working on QB Core server. By no means are any of you required to play there. This is just something that we've wanted for a long time to kind of give people a more serious environment to RP. QB Core servers are really great because they have scripts that really enable the server to do the majority of the work for us. We don't have to use our imagination like we do in vMenu. There's not a lot of /me's or /do's. The server really does a lot of that legwork for you, and it's very intuitive, it's very immersive, but it can be kind of overwhelming, especially for people that are used to vMenu. And by no means are we looking to shift our focus away from vMenu. That's why we've been really trying to update and enhance this as much as we possibly can with what's available to us. But if you guys are looking for something a little bit more immersive, something serious, I highly encourage you guys to check out the QB Core server. Kate is really working hard on making sure that is as ready as we can possibly get it, so that people can start getting in and getting used to playing on that kind of server and kind of bug testing and helping us fix the kinks. Other than that, I appreciate your guys' time. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys have any interest in trying to help us with media, or making videos like this, or just testing the server in general, please reach out in a ticket. We really need the help in those two areas specifically. And obviously, if you guys are active and you meet the requirements, we're always looking for good staff members as well. So obviously I look forward to anybody applying that meets that. Other than that, I appreciate your guys' time. Thank you very much. I'll see you on the next one.